what do you call that? The Instagram, because overload, I think, like people are just
Yeah,
live everywhere.
actually, from yesterday onwards, I see quite some
Uh-huh.
people actually got on and off from the Instagram live, so they might be
Yeah.
facing the same problem.
Yeah. Let me share the link first. Hold on. Hi, are you okay? Are you there, Kai?
Yeah, I'm there.
Still right. Still okay.
Yeah,
Okay, hold
still
on.
alright.
I'm just gonna announce in the story.
Yeah. Are you alone at home or with someone else?
Alone right now. Q&A with Kai. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Okay, good to go.
Yep.
Yep. Hold on. I'll just turn this one off. Hello, can you hear me, Kai?
Yes, I can.
All right, that's great. All right, let's continue where we left off.
Right. Yeah. So it's a bit interruptive just now. It's
Yeah,
about
about
it's
your
about
inspirations, yeah. Where you
about my
got your
inspiration.
style.
Yeah. When I first started, I was also like everyone else, just look at typical wedding photographers work, and then we see what they shoot, and then I follow the same thing. But after a while, I just thought, yeah, I need to find myself. I need to find my own voice, and why I'm doing it for. Is it for reasons?
Mm-hmm.
So then I started to try ask myself and
Yeah.
what kind of strength I have, and
Mm-hmm.
what kind of visual style I like. So and then it happened that I made friend with Samuel Go
Mm-hmm.
um, around that time, and his wife Ting. So
Yeah.
we somehow had a chat, random chat about it, and then
Mm-hmm.
they actually told me that they love my photos with architectural elements.
I
Then
see.
then they asked, yeah, that's really your strength. Why not you think about it and see how you can make it your own very unique kind of things. So
Mm-hmm.
I started trying more with my architectural approach,
Yeah.
including more lines and really not just about using bokeh. So
Mm-hmm.
it's I started to look around more, and then I also look at street photography.
Strict what for the what?
Street photography.
Oh, okay, street photography. Okay.
Yeah, I also look at some other street photographers' works, and because I think at that time I could hardly see wedding photographers who use a lot of building lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most wedding photographers love to use really the beautiful elements in a wedding. But sometimes I think when I look at street photography, I love that some of the shots could be really messy or could be dirty,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of story in street photography.
Yeah.
So then I thought, yeah, this could be something that I can incorporate my architectural background with street approach, and how I can gel the people's emotion together. So that's how I started to find my own direction better. Yeah.
So when you're shooting a wedding, what are you looking forward most? Like what do you see first in a wedding? Do you see the people? Do you see this how you will what do you call that? tell a story, or what do you see? How's your process of thinking going on when you're in a wedding?
Right. Okay. In a wedding is really quite a long day.
Mm-hmm.
So, to be frank, it's not a kind of immediate start every time when I shoot a wedding. So I wouldn't go into full Kai mode when I shoot a wedding. So because it's a long day, so there's always a kind of warm up for me. So I think the warm up is good mutually, for me and for the people, like for the couple and the family. So that's how I think the kind of warm up to make my presence felt comfortably by the couple and their family, I think is important, so that's how we started to have a bit of connection. And then when the connection is there, they feel I'm comfortable. And then when I shoot, right, I can be more in the ninja mode, and I don't really need to do too much to guide them. So in a way, their emotions can be more naturally like flow.
So
So
what you're trying to say is you chit chat with the people around you first when you at the morning of a wedding. Then after that you just go like gone, like you're in a stealth mode or something.
yes, something like that. But it also depends on the people. Some people are really quiet, then I just respect them, and then I don't chat too much, and I will be just really just making simple smiles, and then just really simple kind of chat. Don't need to be long. It can be just simple ones, just so that the comfort can be achieved by both sides. And then so when the comfort level is there, I think emotions are easier to come up.
Yeah.
And then from there on, I will slowly look at things like light and stories, because to me, shooting a wedding is not like shooting a street. A street you can shoot about strangers, but a wedding, right? If you can have very nice layered kind of pictures, it's not good enough. You need to have certain stories or emotions.
Yeah.
And therefore, to me, weddings is like it's like something that you need to gel a lot of things together, like light, emotions, moments. So I don't think if I shoot on the street, I might look at the light first. But if I shoot a wedding, I will try to do things concurrently. If I see good lights, then I will make sure they're comfortable. If they're not comfortable, I wouldn't use a good light anyway. So that's important for me. I think in wedding, I wouldn't put light as the main priority. But it's so important to make your pictures to be good, very good. Because okay, a very good wedding photo to me is that it has the elements of the story, the emotions, the moments, the light, the technical stuff. Yeah. If the technical stuff is very good, but without the emotions, I think it's not a good wedding photo.
So how do you build those emotions? Like, do you just be on standby, or do you talk with them to build up emotions?
I I will adjust according to couples. Some couples love talking, and then some not. So if they don't talk, I will just be there. I think be there is just 2 words, but it's actually quite difficult because in order to make yourself there, right?
Yeah.
You need to be really be with the people on the day, because, for example, if the bride needs something, if it is on the reach of my hand, I will actually just reach out, and then let's say it's a tissue paper, I will just get it for her. Things like that, that's simple, that I think can help the people on the day. Then it will make you feel like a part of them. When they feel like you are a part of them, right, then you can do your photography more easily.
Mhm.
So it doesn't mean that I need the super deep conversation with the people. It's more like a simple gesture and actions here and there that build up the presence. Just be there, and then they feel all right. They feel comfortable, and then when everyone feel comfortable, I will have my own space to look for the good light, the good layering perspective, and so on. So I would say it's, yeah, wedding is messy, but yeah, it's a it I have to be able to focus to do things concurrently, like
Mhm.
looking at the light and see how to put the people, and also having the right emotions.
I have a question. Do you shoot weddings by yourself?
Do I shoot wedding? What?
By yourself?
Most of the time, yes.
So
One,
how do you manage like shooting the safer stuff and the more like Kai creative stuff? Because like for in Indonesia, there is no almost nobody, like maybe 99% of the people shoot weddings in a couple or more, like in partners or more. So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
curious, how do you manage, like how does it go? Like do you shoot the safe stuff first? Do you shoot the creative stuff? What's happening there?
Right, right. It's a good question.
Mhm.
Because I think it takes time to build up, in the sense that my portfolio need to show a certain percentage of my work and my kind of style that the couples are happy to have. And then let's say they like that my works are more daring, not typical, experimental, then I would be more daring to do more of such thing during a wedding shoot. And so I wouldn't. That means the couples are ready for it, and I don't need too much time to prep them for it. Yeah, um, and also shooting a wedding. I think to me, there's no perfect kind of take. Meaning to say, take is like you can't shoot everything. You have to know when to give, when to take. So I know sometimes I saw super good light, but really the couples are not in the right mood, not in the right condition, and so I wouldn't force it. If I force it, they will feel unhappy, or maybe they will feel weird, and then I don't want them to feel anything that's off on their wedding day.
Yeah.
So I would actually see what is a priority at certain point of time. So because when I shoot alone, right, there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of give and take. Like there's a lot of things that I need to sacrifice. So if I shoot a typical Singapore wedding, then I know more or less the flow. So there's a lot of anticipation that I can make. And when there are things that I can anticipate, maybe I will get a quick safe shot, and then after the safe shot, I will do a lot of other experimental shots during a
Mm-hmm.
ceremony. But if I cannot anticipate certain part of a wedding, I will just be safe, because ultimately I think a wedding shouldn't be just a pure artist playground. It's I think it's good to make a bit of balance for both the artists and the couples, because ultimately it's their wedding day. We are paid to photograph their wedding, so we need to respect them a lot and ensure them that they are going to have a good wedding. Yeah, so yeah, I think experience and whether they enjoy the wedding is
Mm-hmm.
priority to me.
So
Yeah,
I've seen like your wedding photos. They're a mixture of natural and posed photos. Like posed as in like you
yeah,
direct them. Which one do you
yeah.
actually prefer?
Right. The thing is this. When I actually prefer natural kind of moments in wedding days. So in my wedding shoot, there is actually more than 90% of the time I shoot on natural stuff. I shoot on the candid stuff. But maybe there's 10% I would like to go a bit more experimental. And then when you look at my pictures or other people look at my pictures from my Instagram, they might see quite a lot of experimental shots or something a bit more creative. Because you see, just now I was telling you guys about wedding day, 90% candid, right? But when I post my pictures, it might be more than that, about the percentage of my creative shots. It might be more than 10%. It might be maybe 30, 40% that I, you know what I mean? It's the 30 or 40% of creativity stuff that I posted online. But actually, when I shoot, it's another percentage, which is 90% candid and natural, so that the couples feel it's part of their day. And the 10% experimental stuff I do for them might be just during their bridal party session, the wedding entourage, the couple private moments, things like that. Yeah, or there are some really slow pace kind of wedding program that the guests don't have a lot of agendas, then they be themselves, right? So I can take my time and observe, and then I can try some creative street approach kind of layering. So yeah, ultimately it's still the majority of my wedding photos are actually candid and natural.
I see.
So and even though, let's say,
continue, please continue.
Yeah, let's say the 10% of the day that I want to make something experimental or creative, let's say I have to post a couples, I do it for reasons. Because let's say there's a good light and the good angle of the light makes some part of the face with heavy shadow. So that's when I position the couple, position the people. So I would call them position instead of posing. But yeah, if I really post them, it's a simple post. And also, and if I post them, I try to really make them have a bit of maybe dialogue and some scenario in their mind, so that it's not just a blank 10 seconds of posing without doing anything. It might be really 10 seconds of standing there with a certain direction, but also with a scenario in their mind, or maybe a dialogue. Yeah.
So it's like directing a actor in a movie, like you imagine you this, blah, 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 something like that.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Okay, there's another question, like, do you brief your couples on the way you shoot, like before sessions? I must imagine, like, do they go to you already knowing what they expect, or do you still need to explain to them that you're going to shoot like these natural posed photos, like natural direction in photos? Do you still brief them on wedding days or on couple sessions?
Nowadays I seldom actually explain or brief them what I'm going to do. I think when they come to me, because they have seen my portfolio, they've seen my works, they know, all right, Kai, he has a kind of architectural approach in photography. So they come to me for that. So I don't really need to brief them what to do. If I really brief them, it's really about like, look, guys, so we are going to shoot now. Yeah, you just walk a little bit and just chill yourself. And so it's more like a very simple kind of, how to say, chat to make them feel comfortable. Yeah, it's not a serious briefing about like, yeah, I'm doing something that is like very pose here or very natural or something like that.
So there's another question here, like, when starting like a wedding industry, going into a wedding industry as a photographer, do you rely more on marketing in social media or word of mouth? Which one works for you the best?
Right. So this question might not be best answered by me because, yeah, apparently I'm not the best in marketing and branding stuff. But I think when starting a wedding photography, I think it's good to have some words of mouth. And then slowly try showing more of your works, the kind of works that you really like. then eventually people will know what kind of things you do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Words of mouth is good because when people come to you, they know you already in a sense because they hear from people about what kind of things you do or what kind of person you are. It's good to start like that. Then you don't need to do so much explanation to the clients. But when you reach a point of time, I think marketing is very important for you to reach out more. That's where I need to work harder and learn more.
Okay, so how did you jump from, I known you from the first Limitless, I think.
Yeah.
You're just by yourself, but then you make a leap and you had 3 people in your Kai Picture team now. Like, why did that happen? Like, why are there 3 photographers in Kai Picture? What motivates you to do that?
Right. I guess I'm always by myself. I was always by myself, and I was okay with it. But eventually, I met Yao, and subsequently, I met Kenneth. So 3 of us become a team now. I love that. I love the idea of being able to work together and chat. Sometimes it's really about I feel it's about sharing because knowing my personality, I'm not a super businessman. So it's not because I have like massive works that I need a lot of employees like that. No, it's not that. It's really that I feel, oh yeah, these 2 friends are very nice to chat, and then we have the same kind of channel. We can click, and then so I asked them, look, how do you feel? Do you think we can work together? We can try out. So we never started as like a real, how to say, employer kind of a relationship. It's really just like I asked Yao, look, I have a shoot in coming week. Do you want to come and join me? And yeah, so he joined me, and then from the shoot, I could see how he's very how to say, supportive. And then there are some people who are very much a team player, and there are some people who just are very aggressive about getting so-called their portfolio shots. Yeah, but I'm very grateful that 2 of my teammates, they are not like that. They are really a team player. And then so yeah, I love this kind of chemistry because sometimes I also feel like, yeah, if I can support them, I would love to. So I did join shoot with Yao. He's the main photographer, and I'm the second photographer. I think it's actually a good exercise that we can work together, we can play together, we can laugh together. It's I think in this new era, it's more about collaboration. So teamwork is a kind of collaboration to me.
Your Kai Picture team is more of a collaboration, is it?
Yeah, I would think it's a collaboration, and there's no hierarchy. There's no top-down construction. Sorry, not construction. There's no top-down structure in our how to say, our practice, because they can have their own opinions, and I even told them you can have your own visual style. So 3 of us can have different styles, but we all tied with the same core of belief, and yeah, like what we would like to celebrate in shooting a wedding.
And can you share a bit about your core? Like, I want to know, like, because 3 of you are very like different style, but what's your core? What's the key word for your core belief?
Right, we are still finding a keyword. That's the thing. But yeah, it's more like we hope to really focusing. We hope to focus more on the people story part. Whenever we shoot people, whether it's a wedding, whether it's a lifestyle, family stuff, the story is something that we want to capture. What I mean by story is that it's not just about emotions. Wedding photographers love to capture emotions. That's all right. Yeah, one wedding photo showing one human face that's laughing. That's emotion, right? but to me, it's not good enough. Not enough story in there. So I would like to have maybe show more context and why he's laughing. So to me, that's story. Yeah. And yeah, three of us actually believe in that, and we share the same kind of sentiment, and that's what we want to hold as a kind of like maybe philosophy in our work. So yeah, that's why we can click and work together. Visual style, right? Like the color, the contrast, and so on, to us is secondary. Yeah, it's still
So,
pretty much a freedom for all to
so the
explore.
colors are different also, like they're quite the colors
We are
between.
we are slightly different, but then we are not like super, how to say, too different until people feel very weird, I guess. Yeah. To be frank, the way we work as a team of three might not be the best example for everyone else to follow, because yeah, we might be wrong, to be frank. But I just feel like if we are wrong but we are happy, that's good. It's about having fun in the
Yeah.
process. And also, more importantly, I think it's not just about, I think, yes, getting a lot of business is good, and we hope we can get more. But it's not just about that. It's really in the process of working together, if we can have fun, like from the sharing, and then we get inspired. So it's better, because there's a saying, right? By yourself, you can walk faster, because you can decide on like just this, and you decide and go. But if you are in a team, you cannot walk as fast, but you can walk further. Because yeah, maybe we can brainstorm a bit and think, what do we want? The further, right? When I say further, it doesn't mean that it doesn't limit to just the business. It might be more about maybe our life, how we do certain things. So I think that's what I appreciate about teamwork. It's not just limited to business, it's a lot more. Yeah.
So I have a more like a casual question.
Yeah.
So for you, like you have a family. You've been married, and
Yeah.
Kenneth is single. So is being married influencing your style a bit more? Like, how do you see a wedding differently than someone who is single? Like most of wedding photographers now are single, also like the younger generation. So what's different? What being married? What does it make you see? What makes you? What's important on a wedding for you?
Right. I think it's a good question, because when I see Kenneth photograph some people, right? Although visual styles he's different, but some of his approach and the things that he captured can be very romantic, which I really admire, because I saw myself in him also, like when I was younger. The way I captured, like I might actually be able to capture some really romantic stuff, and also a lot about feelings. Now I have kids, and then I think somehow I get to be very sensitive with kids. So in my wedding photos, right, I managed to capture a lot of kids related moments, and a lot of funny stories from my pictures are always with the elements of kids. So I guess maybe it's there's no right and wrong in every stage of our life. It's just different, and it's nice to have the young approach, that we see things in a younger way. So it's fun. And then, but when I'm like getting older, it's a different kind of fun. It's more like maybe I look at kids more. Yeah. And so when I do composition on my photography, I actually try to include certain elements that I might feel interesting from the kids' perspective. Yeah, because nowadays with my kids, right, I could see sometimes they stop by somewhere, they like something, but it's something so normal to us as adults. But for kids, right, they could just stop by there and then they look at it. Then yeah, this kind of small observation, I think, is very helpful for me to be more sensitive to these kind of moments in wedding.
I see.
Yeah.
So the way you see weddings and Kenneth see weddings is different for now, is it, in your opinion?
Different for now, but we are team, so he can actually understand my approach. He also understand my approach. We kind of understand each other. So there are also some of Canon shots have
Mhm.
kind of layering and compositions like I do. Sometimes he's better because he has a kind of cinematic approach as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's into movie and he's more emotional in a sense, and so his composition can be quite refreshing sometimes to me. And whereas for me, it's I could be doing things like something quite mature
Yeah.
and maybe like something like street photographer with,
Mhm.
but my advantage is I have architectural influence.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think if you have kids, it's harder to watch movies, right?
correct. Yes, when I have kids, I
Yeah.
yeah, I don't have a lot of time to watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Especially, last time when I watch certain artistic movies, I need to get a certain right mood. So
Mm.
when I was single, I got a lot of that kind of windows,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I can actually just all right sit down and then in that mood and watch that kind of move art shows, art movies, and something nice. But nowadays with kids, right, when I have a bit of time for myself, the so-called me time, I might actually have to spend with my wife watching less artistic movies or shows, sometimes more commercial kind of shows. But
yeah.
I don't think commercial shows are bad. It's like
Mhm.
how we see things and how we spend our life.
Yeah.
So even from commercial shows, sometimes I try to see what is the art approach behind, like what is the I can even do the critique on it. Like I would tell my wife, oh no, this composition is off. It's not very good. Things like that. So it's funny, but I think it's fine. Yeah, it's just different stage of life. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. There's another question here. Like, I saw like your shoot in Japan, right? Your pre-wedding shoot. It's like how
Yeah.
many days was it? 2 days?
Uh it's okay. It spreads into 2 days,
Uh-huh.
but we didn't keep shooting all the time because the
Yeah.
couple love eating. So
Mm-hmm.
we just they stop by a lot of places, a lot of small restaurants or cafe just to eat. And then
Mm-hmm.
so I also joined them and sit down and eat. So 2 days, but I think we spend more time in eating than shooting. But
Yeah.
but it's good enough because they keep walking, they keep exploring, finding good food, and that's what I want. When I photograph a couple's engagement session, pre-wedding session, I or casual couple sessions, I love couples to walk. So because I'm sensitive to architectural elements, urban context. So when I walk more, I can spot different pockets of lights, different spots uh, that is interesting.
So
Yeah.
the question is actually, have you had any creative blocks in taking weddings or couple photos? Like, have you ever just like, what should I do next? Have you ever had that in mind, or you just keep on, what do you call that? Spontaneously see things.
You mean for the 2 days of shoot in
Not
Tokyo?
not only in Japan, but like in general, like shooting in general. Have you been like fed up of one location and then what should I shoot? What else could I shoot here? Do you have that creative block?
Yeah, I think it happens to all creative people. Yes,
How do you overcome it?
sometimes I have the creative blocks as well, and
Mhm.
like creative burnout. And actually, I did a podcast episode with Samuel Go about it, um, talking about how we deal with creative burnout. So, but basically, it's really like I guess sometimes we can't force it.
Yeah.
Like if we really face a kind of creative blocks, right? Don't treat yourself too bad. Just be kind to yourself, because be kind to yourself is very important. Some people are really harsh on themselves, and then they feel too stressed, and eventually it may make this creative burnout period to be longer because they constantly feel more anxious, more stressed. So I think the first step is maybe to really be kind to yourself, and then when you are kind to yourself, you feel better. You know that it's part of life. It's everyone will face it, and then it will pass too. Yeah. So yeah, that's the mentality that I want. And then secondly is that, okay, to the same location, yeah, I might feel a bit like not sure what to do, but I think it's all right because I wish when I go to shoot, I just want to step out of my comfort zone. Like I know this location so well already. I know this spot, and this spot. But when I'm there, I purposely try not to go to the same spot. Go to the different spot. That's one way to step out of the comfort zone. Or maybe just bring different camera gears.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
To the same
what
location.
yeah.
Mhm.
What I'm just curious, what kind of gears do you use? Just so the viewers could take a like.
Yeah. My usual gears are like two cameras, and then one with two full frame, and then one with 35, and then one with around 55. My setup last time was 28 and 58. Actually, this is still my favorite range. Yeah, but it's around there, 28 or 35, and then 50 or 58. It's all around there. And then when I go shoot, it's wide enough for me to capture some context. And then the other one will be good enough for me to capture the close-up. But just now we were talking about the creative blocks, right? Like if going to the same place, then for the, let's say, go to Singapore Botanic Garden for the 7th time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like my backyard. I go there so often. Then I need to find a different way. So one way is take different approach, find different spot, and then another way is try different gears. Like I used to shoot a lot with 35. Maybe now I bring 24, or maybe I don't bring 50. I bring 85.
But do you think like when you shoot like architecture style, or even wider lens would actually show more of the lines and stuff?
Yes, mostly, but it also depends on what kind of architectural space that we have. If the space is wide enough, even 85 is all right. Yeah, it just depends on how you want to compose the people and the lines. Yeah, because the wider you get, the more like surrounding context you get. The surrounding context, if it is messy, then it's harder for you to shoot, because yeah, photography is about subtraction and addition. So yeah, you don't want too much.
Yeah, like talking about addition, I've seen you shoot a pre-wedding session in a beach in Bali. How do you handle that? Like it's only just a beach and the couple. How do you play like when there's nothing else, just people and the ocean and just the sky?
Right. Right. The good thing about Bali is that it's quite popular. There are a lot of tourists. So I like pictures with a bit of tourists, so I can make use of the street elements. Yeah. And then if it is a total private beach, there is like just the two of them and myself, then I will maybe think of different things, maybe silhouette, or maybe I will see what kind of landscape at the seaside that I can get. I know in Bali there are a good variety of different beach, different seaside. Some are like cliff, and then some are like rocks, and then some are like just black sands.
Yeah.
So I think really just be observant with the environment, and then if I see it's a place with a lot of rocks, then I will use the rocks maybe as a foreground and background. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I do.
Yes, talking about Bali again.
Mm.
you shot a wedding at Bali once also, right? If I'm not mistaken. Or no, you just shot couple session?
Mostly couple sections, but I shot a very small wedding. There was another. There was supposed to be another bigger wedding in Bali. I think the couple engaged me and Yao. We were supposed to go there and shoot, but they canceled their wedding. So
Hmm.
yeah, we didn't shoot a really like a bigger scale kind of wedding in Bali.
But have
Not
you
yet.
shot?
If get
Yeah.
me to join you.
I don't know if there's any more weddings in this year in
Oh
Bali.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So have you ever shot like weddings overseas outside of Singapore, or mostly just pre-wedding sessions?
Um, Outside of Singapore, I shot. I shot a wedding in Brisbane,
Mm-hmm.
and then I shot some weddings in Melbourne, and another wedding in Perth. I guess because I spent about 6 years in Melbourne, so I I have some friends in Australia, so it could be one of the reasons I still got like the inquiry to shoot weddings in Australia, but not much, not much. Mainly in Singapore. I got another inquiry to shoot a wedding in I think Switzerland, but yeah, it didn't work out. Yeah.
Mhm. So for the wedding in Singapore itself, do you always get the typical Chinese wedding, or do you get a mixture of other cultures as well?
Right. Mostly Chinese weddings in Singapore for me. Uh, I did photograph some Malay weddings and some I think Indian weddings for once only. But I
Mm-hmm.
did also shot some different weddings, multiracial weddings. Like maybe one of the couple is from Europe or from somewhere else. Yeah.
Mhm. So
So
how do you approach these different cultures? How do you approach these different cultures? Like if you shoot a Malay wedding, do you have another like mental state in mind, or you just treat it the way you shoot Chinese weddings?
right. Even when I shoot a Chinese wedding, I try to be different, not
Mhm.
too Chinese.
Yeah.
So that's why when if I shoot a different wedding, like a different cultural background, I
Mm-hmm.
think I will not be too rigid. But I heard that Indian weddings are usually quite rigid, that they have a certain ceremony, like steps to go. And then some of the Indian couples would love to really capture every single step. But again, because usually I shoot alone and I don't capture every single thing. As I
Mm-hmm.
say, I give and take. So um, yeah, for those couples who have very different cultural background, when we meet up, I will tell them what I should
Mm-hmm.
and what I may not should. Yeah, so I will be clear. So I manage their expectation before they agree to have me to shoot. Yeah, like Malay weddings, I don't really shoot the typical Malay style as well. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful to have some Malay couples who really like trusted me to do my own things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really just take a different approach when I shoot Malay weddings.
I see.
Mm,
Thank you so much for your answer. There's another answer, a question by Kenneth.
mm.
Actually, he sent me a question to you.
Right.
What shows or movies are you watching right now?
What shows of movies am I watching
Or
right now?
movies? Or movies, yeah.
I didn't watch movie recently, but I'm following a Korean series. It's called One Spring Night.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a slow paced Korean romance. I think
Yeah.
it's not super romantic because their kind of love is really quite reserved. But it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Sometimes when we watch different shows like from Korean or Japan or from Europe, we
Mm-hmm.
get to learn different chemistry
Mm-hmm.
from different cultures. I think this is one way to to be mindful. And then when you shoot different cultures, like you photograph different weddings, like Korean couples or different couples, then then you know, yeah, their chemistry can be different.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, like from the last Limitless, you've told us that you've used a movie as references or a TV series. Is there any like recent ones that you would recommend, like, or maybe has influenced your work in a way?
Mm. Recently, I don't watch so much, but
Mm-hmm.
I listen to podcasts.
Podcast. Okay.
Podcasts.
Any recommendation
Um,
for podcast?
there's a good one in Singapore. It's Singapore based, so their English is a bit more like Singlish. So
Mm-hmm.
it's called Lito Podcast.
Okay.
Lito
Later.
is it's good that they share a lot of things about creative stuff,
Mm-hmm.
about even life, about making friends, about pricing. You see,
Mm-hmm.
pricing can be important for people who just started up with wedding photography business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I listen a lot. And movies. I think the last impactful one to me might be Parasite.
Your side. Why is that? Yeah, everyone's been talking about it last year.
Yeah. Everyone talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think because it used a lot of architectural approach.
Hmm. So you see it
So
as an architectural movie then? Like I'm not like architectural composition. You see it as that because you're an architect, is it? Like
yeah. I see a lot on like the architectural kind of lines and maybe elements in the movie. So it's like how they film from certain perspective, and then it shows the architecture of the house. So yeah, I'm quite drawn into all this. I think for wedding photographers, or generally speaking photographers, when you watch movies or shows, I guess don't need to really limit yourself with a kind of frame. Like
Mhm.
I'm coming from this wedding photographer's point of view to watch this show. I think just open up a bit and then you might see different things. Yeah, because yeah, I watched a show Parasite. I wasn't with the mind of a photographer. I was more like, yeah, maybe from architect's perspective, or I just enjoy seeing some materials, materials shown in the house, like, oh wow, this table, like this timber, and then how it's mixed with the different concrete material. So yeah, that's to me it's interesting. Mm.
Mm, yeah. I never see it that way, but now you've talking about it, maybe I could see it in a more architectural way.
Yeah, what do you see from the movie actually?
I see like mostly like I see people, so I see more of the connection between the people, how they interact, like their expressions. That's what I see from the movie. So it's quite a bit different from what.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
it's good. I mean, if I get to watch again, maybe I will try to see it from this different perspective as well. Because the first time I saw a lot of, to me, a lot of sensation, the touch,
Yeah.
like different material feels
Mhm.
differently on hand.
Yeah.
So that's where I see things. So I guess if I want to apply in wedding photography, maybe some of my shots I would really capture the details of how people feel with texture or even sweat. When you hug someone who sweat a lot, yeah,
Mhm.
that kind of feeling. Yeah.
So
So
is that how you direct people? You say like you reference it from a movie and you try to say it in your words for people to do it. Is that how you do it?
if I direct people, right, I usually uh, I might not take reference from movie. I mean I might not tell them about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I will tell them from a perspective of life. Like I would just say, look, your husband is sweating so much, but he's laughing so much, right? So I would love you to remember this moment. You hug each other so tight that you could feel all the sweat in your hand.
So
So
that's
to me,
more,
it's
yeah,
yeah,
more of
it's
a
just
comedic approach, right?
yeah, it's I mean
Yeah.
yeah, something like it's more related to them
Mm-hmm.
or easily relatable because sometimes in when I shoot shoot some couples, I think if I mention something too artistic, and then
Yeah.
they catch no ball. So I just want something to be easily relatable.
Yeah, that's what I found also. Like a few years ago, there's this thing, I think to the moment design. I think that doesn't really relate to a lot of people, but if you put it in a more day-to-day basis, like
Yeah,
more like things that we can relate, I
yeah,
think it's more effective that way. And that's
yeah,
what I've been.
yeah. To be frank,
Yeah.
yeah, you are right. Moment
Mhm.
design is some people might use it in like template kind of manner, but it's actually it's supposed to be more than that. It's supposed to be quite lively.
Flexible also, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You are right. Mm.
But
Don't
like,
take it.
yeah, sorry, continue. Don't.
No, I was just saying like I think I remember mentioning this in my workshop also. I was telling people that if you learn some kind of moment design or some kind of how to ask people questions, right? Don't take it like a kind of template. Like in editing our photos in Lightroom, we
Yeah.
use presets, right? But
Yeah.
don't take moments as presets
Yeah.
because moments are supposed to be organic.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
beautiful. Yes, thank you.
yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
yeah, really, you just be organic, be like a human. Like I say, like back to our very beginning, I say
yeah.
be there for the couple, be there with the people, and then when you are there, and then you talk more naturally, and then yeah, they will feel more connected. Yeah.
So like for a couple sessions, do you just walk more than talk more? Like, do you do that? Like, do you ask them to walk more, or you just give them instructions when they're in a nice background?
Uh to be frank, I think walk and talk equally quite
Mm-hmm. Same.
substantial for my photo session because yeah, I usually tell my couples try not to wear high heels
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
yeah, the extent I walk with them is quite a lot. So
Mm.
yeah, I think if I really find a good spot, I will make them stay quite a bit. But then if it is not the best, we can walk a bit more. And sometimes when they are stuck, right, walking is good for them. It's like sightseeing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a way to make themselves more comfortable. And then when they sometimes when they walk is the best moment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you stand with them in close proximity all the time, or you just like move around a lot, like wherever?
When I need to connect with them, I will stand near to them. But sometimes I will ask them to like just do their own stuff or walk, and then I will be quite far away. I think yeah. Another thing about Parasites, right, is like Parasite movie is that you see the show, the take is like there's a lot of variety in the take, like far, near, left, right, and then up, down. So yeah, that's the way I shoot as well. It's like just when I connect with people, yes, I'm close. But
Mhm.
then when they are comfortable already, I might be far.
I see.
Yeah. So I can
So
get different.
to make people more comfortable, you stay close with them first. When they're comfortable, then you can start to wander around, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Mm.
And then sometimes when I know that they are going to have a certain more private kind of moments, I will give them a bit of space. So not too close. So
Okay.
I think it's really like no there's no rules, there's no template to this. Like you just need to be observant. Some people naturally invite people to join them, but some actually prefer you to be away so that they can be like they can express themselves better.
Mm,
So you just need to see what kind of people they are.
I see. Uh, some photographers, they are quite picky with the type of light when they shoot. Are you the same, or you can just shoot any time of the day?
Um, I yeah, nowadays I try not to. I mean, okay, ideally speaking, in Singapore it's very hot, So
Yeah.
it's still the golden hours is still more enjoyable, more comfortable. But sometimes if really there's no choice, that they got to do it during a harsher hour, harsh light,
Mhm.
then I will still use it. And again, I will make sure they are comfortable. If I feel it's too much for them, then I will maybe take a break or put them under the shade. So it's
Mm.
a constant change of light and shadow, light and shadow. Because yeah, light is overrated sometimes, but
Mhm.
because shadow is important.
I
Yeah.
see.
So yeah, I guess you know very good because you know very well. You are so good already. Yeah. I'm just really quite organic in putting people in light or shadow. So and also ultimately is the comfort that is important for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's in Singapore, right? But how about overseas? Do you like for longer pre-wedding sessions when you go around traveling with them? Do you just like in Japan or other place? Like, do you eat during the harsh hours and just shoot during the golden hours, or you just see whatever on the road?
To be frank, in overseas it's even easier to me. Like
Mhm.
any time in the day is quite a good time for me because
Okay.
the light is always better. And like in Tokyo, actually I advise the couples to start earlier so that it's not too hot. But then they somehow delay
Mm-hmm.
everything, and then they turn up at the kind of timing that's hotter,
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of with strong harsh light. But yeah, the photos still turn out to be good. I think and your question asked about the good light or not, right? I would just love to share with photographers that my belief, maybe my perspective is that there's no such thing as there's light and there's no light.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like some people say, oh, there's no light, I don't want to shoot. But actually, I think there's light. It's just maybe bad light to you. But
Yeah.
if you can make bad light usable for you, then it's a kind of interesting light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think my perspective is that if harsh light is bad, it's a kind of bad light, then you just need to think about how to make use of the bad light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes like disco light is like colorful, and then if you can make use of the color, then it's good.
I think yeah, I think that like the more experience you get, it makes more sense. But for viewers who are just starting out, I think it's a bit harder for them
Oh,
to.
right. Okay, I think there are a few stages. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe for beginners, yes,
Yeah.
try to find good light, of course, to make your photos good. And then what I said just now might be for a later stage when we
Mm-hmm.
can be more flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think that's it. Like the more experience we have, the more flexible we can because we've already went through like following the rules and stuff. Then we can
yeah,
start breaking it.
yeah. You are right. I think follow the rules first, and then break the rules. And like,
Mhm.
yeah, find the good light first, and then after a while you are good with the good lights. Then you slowly try to do without good lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Maybe it's almost an hour already. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm just gonna wrap it up since yeah. Oh, there's two last questions. The first one is, do you have a dream destination? Like once this Corona thing is over, do you have any like dream destination uh, when you where you want to go, where you want to shoot, or you just want to stay at home?
Right. I think maybe Malaysia
Mhm.
because my extended family is in Malaysia. Yeah, so it's not really a destination to shoot, but to spend time with family. And then if I want to go travel for family, for my small family, maybe Japan, maybe.
Again, back to Japan again.
Yeah, back to Japan because I love that Japan has a good mix of nature and
Mhm.
urban. Yeah, I love urban stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
Uh,
another. Sorry. Yeah. Continue.
and
Continue.
Bali.
Bali. Bali. Why?
Yeah, Bali is good. Yeah. Bali have people like you guys, and also Bali is really I love Bali. I think I've been to Bali more than I don't know how many times, lost counts maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. There's one question, interesting one. Do your couples do like what are we going to do now? Like when you have shot them in a certain direction, do they do the direction and then do they ask you again? So what's next? Do they do that like for your couples? Because in Indonesia, like most people are when we shoot, we shoot, and then when they finish their direction, they look at us and say, "So what's next?"
Right. Yeah,
Do,
I
do
know
you
what
have
you
that
mean.
also in Singapore? Yeah.
To be frank, my couples usually don't ask that.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Okay, I think we need to see why they think about why they ask what next. Maybe the way you conduct a
Yeah.
shoot might be a little bit fragmented.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can put them into a less fragmented manner to be more smooth,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe they don't ask so much about what next. So let's say you are shooting at this spot number 1, and then you don't make it too much like a kind of stop, pause, shoot, and then you need to find a second spot. Then of course they will ask you, so what next? What is the next pose, next spot, and then next posing, and so on. But if you really more like encouraging them about being themselves, chat with them. You can even chat about anything. Like I think as Asians, right, we love eating. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about food as simple as that, and then when you talk about all this kind of daily life stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they will be constantly worried about photos. When they ask what next, right, they might be concerned about photos.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point of shooting to get natural moments and emotions is really make them not to feel that it's very much about photos. It's
Yeah.
about the experience of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perfect. And do you have I don't there's another question here like have you had couples who are in a bad mood when shooting pre-wedding session? How does that work for you? Or usually in a good mood when
Pre-wedding, it's quite rare that they appear to be unhappy or negative mood. But I think I remember once or twice, um, um, the couple were a bit unhappy, maybe because they were rushing and then they forgot about something. So
Mm-hmm.
they were a bit stressed. So I think our purpose, our for us being there to photograph couples, right, it's very important to remember that if they're stressed, let's try to make them less stressed about it. Like, cheer them up. And then if they're worried about, let's say they forgot about flowers, tell them flowers are not important.
Mm.
If they forgot about something, just tell them it's not important. Why is important? The
Yeah.
important thing is really you are here,
Mm-hmm.
and I am here, and we are here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So when you tell them this way, and then they are more comfortable, and then just make sure I think it will take a while, but it's fine. Just I think just remember, photographers don't be just shooting for portfolio. It's about connecting with people. So I remember one time when I was photographing a couple in Bagan, Myanmar.
Myanmar, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Bagan. So it was a super nice sunset, but the couple were having some argument
Mm-hmm.
and quarrel. So for me, right, I mean, from photographer's perspective, maybe I should continue shooting, post them,
Mm-hmm.
and then shoot and get the good light out. But I decided not to. It's a good light. I decided not to. I put my cameras down, and then I just approach them, and then they were having some argument. So I just calm them down, and then I chat with them, and
Mhm.
eventually I think just from a friend's perspective. So the way I talk to them is like, look, guys, you are arguing now. It's good, right? Having argument before your wedding is good.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I think this is the perspective that we should have, especially in this season about
Mhm.
the virus. Everyone
Yeah.
is bad, feeling stressed or something, but we could actually take it as a kind of different time. Like it's a wake up call for me because maybe I should diversify my income or something like that, or just do something that you would otherwise maybe neglect about it. So it's
Mhm.
time for you to reset. And the same thing, the couples are not happy before a shoot,
Yeah.
you reset their mood. Yeah. So for the Bagan story, I didn't shoot the good sunset. We just called off, and that's it. So that evening, we just chat, and then we went to have some dinner, and then we chat further about it. And
Mhm.
then somehow I managed to make them feel more relaxed and happier and reconcile. And then, so I told them, look, since we missed the sunset already, do you want to head out tomorrow morning? Let's
Mhm.
go find some sunrise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they're open for it, and then we got some epic sunrise.
Mhm.
So I think just again, photos are not the most important thing. It's really getting the right connection.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Kai. I think the time we already we chatted for 1.5 hours already.
Is it?
So yeah.
Yeah.
So you are like asking, will you have enough to talk? I think you have more to talk, but we'll just cut it for now. We'll chat again
Yeah.
one
Thanks
day.
so much.
Yeah, if you're up for it, maybe we can talk about other stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks, Govina.
thank you so
All
much for
right.
your.
Hopefully, I can see you soon.
Yeah. I think next 6 months probably.
Let's hope all this will go faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Have a great day. Spend more time with your
Yeah.
family.
Take care,
Take
everyone.
care. Yeah. Stay
Yeah. Thanks.
healthy. Bye.
You too. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.